Most people have their entire financial life backwards. They're investing in stocks while carrying credit card debt at 24% interest. They're putting money into a brokerage account before they've ever touched their 401k match. They're skipping over accounts worth thousands of dollars in free money every single year, and they don't even know it. Here's the cold truth. It's not about how much you invest. It's about the order in which you invest it. Get the order wrong, and you're leaving a fortune on the table. Get it right, and you're building wealth faster than 95% of the people around you. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have a step-by-step roadmap that tells you exactly where to put every dollar you have. No guessing, no confusion. Just a clear, logical sequence that actually works. Welcome back. If you're new here, this channel is all about helping regular people with regular jobs and regular incomes build serious, long-term wealth. Not get-rich-quick garbage. Not crypto tips from a stranger on Twitter. Real, foundational, life-changing financial strategy. And today we're going deep on one of the most important topics I've ever covered. This video is for you if you've recently earned real money and you don't know where it should go first. It's for you if you have been investing, but something feels off, like maybe you're doing it in the wrong order. And honestly, it's for you if you just want to be smarter with your money than your coworkers, your classmates, and probably your own parents. If that sounds like you, hit subscribe because we do this every week, and let's get into it.
Before we get into the steps, I want to ask you something. Have you ever heard of a leaking bucket? Imagine you're trying to fill a bucket with water, but there are holes in the bottom. You keep pouring water in more and more, but you can never fill it up because the water keeps draining out faster than you can pour. That is exactly what most people's financial life looks like. They're pouring money into investments while their debt is draining it out the bottom. They're earning 8% in the stock market while paying 22% on their credit card. The math doesn't work. It will never work. And here's something even more surprising. There's an account most people completely ignore that gives you what I call a triple tax advantage. We're talking tax deductions going in, tax-free growth in the middle, and tax-free money coming out. We'll get to that. And when we do, you'll be shocked that you haven't been using it already. But let's start at the very beginning, because you can't invest your way out of a foundation that's broken.
Step 1. Build your emergency fund. Before a single dollar goes into any investment, any stock, any fund, anything, you need an emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of living expenses sitting in a high-yield savings account doing absolutely nothing except being there. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Investing without an emergency fund isn't brave, it's reckless. Because the moment life hits, a job loss, a medical bill, a car breakdown, you'll have to sell your investments to cover it. And Murphy's Law says that moment will come at the worst time, right when the market is down 30%, right when you'd be selling at a loss. Think of your emergency fund like the foundation of a house. You wouldn't build a house with no foundation and then be surprised when the walls crack, right? The emergency fund is what keeps everything else standing when the storm comes. Let's say you have $10,000 saved and no emergency fund. You decide to invest it all. 3 months later, your transmission blows out. That's $4,000 you don't have in cash, so you put it on a credit card at 22% interest. Now you're paying $880 a year just in interest on a car repair. You turned a $4,000 problem into a $4,880 a year problem, all because you skipped this step. Open a high-yield savings account. Marcus, Ally, SoFi, there are plenty. And start putting money there until you've got 3 to 6 months of expenses saved. If you have a stable job, 3 months is fine. If you're self-employed or in a volatile industry, go for 6. Most people skip this because it feels boring. Saving money in a savings account doesn't feel like winning. But I'm telling you, this is the most important financial move you will ever make. Not because of what it earns, because of what it protects.
Step 2. Eliminate high-interest debt. Once your emergency fund is funded, you attack any high-interest debt. We're talking credit cards, personal loans, any debt with an interest rate above roughly 7%. Here's a truth that should genuinely make you angry.
Paying off a credit card at 22% interest is a guaranteed, risk-free 22% return on your money. The stock market historically returns about 10% a year on average, and that's not guaranteed. So mathematically, paying off your credit card is twice as good as investing in the stock market. But here's where it gets interesting. Most people know this and still don't do it. Why? Because paying off debt doesn't feel exciting. Watching your investment account grow feels exciting. We're wired for dopamine, not math. High-interest debt is like a backpack full of bricks. You can still run, you can still invest, you can still move forward, but every step is so much harder than it needs to be. The moment you drop that backpack, you feel it. You move faster, you breathe easier. Everything works better. Say you have $5,000 on a credit card at 22% interest, and you're making minimum payments of around $100 a month. Do you know how long it takes to pay that off? Over 9 years. And you'll pay nearly $6,500 in interest alone, more than the original debt. That's the most expensive purchase you'll ever make that you've already forgotten about. Use either the avalanche method, highest interest rate first, or the snowball method, smallest balance first for psychological momentum. Honestly, either works. The best method is the one you'll actually stick to. Some people say, but what if the market goes up while I'm paying down debt? And yes, maybe. But you know what never goes up? The interest rate on your credit card. It's like choosing to hold a hot coal in your hand while you wait to see if something better comes along. Just put it down.
Step 3. Grab the 401k employer match. If your employer matches your 401k contributions, you contribute enough to get every single dollar of that match. Every single dollar. This is free money. That is not a figure of speech. If your employer matches 100% of your contributions up to 4% of your salary, and you're making $60,000 a year, that's $2,400 of free money every year, just sitting there waiting for you to claim it. Not taking the full match is the financial equivalent of turning down a raise and then going home and acting like everything is fine. According to Vanguard, about 1 in 4 employees fail to contribute enough to get their full employer match. That's tens of millions of people leaving a combined $24 billion on the table every single year. $24 billion. Imagine your boss walks over to your desk, puts an envelope of cash on the table, and says, "This is for you. Just come pick it up." And you say, "Nah, I'm good." That's what you're doing if you're not taking the full 401k match. Log into your HR portal today. Find out what your employer's match policy is, then set your contribution rate to at least the minimum required to capture the full match. If your employer matches 4%, contribute 4%. If they match 6%, contribute 6%. Do it today, not next month, today.
Step 4. Max out your HSA. Okay, here's the one most people don't know about. And honestly, this is my favorite step in the entire sequence. If you have a high-deductible health plan through your employer, you likely have access to a health savings account, an HSA. And I want you to take this seriously, because this account has something no other account in the entire U.S. tax code has, a triple tax advantage. Here's how it works. Your contributions are tax-deductible going in. Your money grows tax-free inside the account, and when you withdraw it for qualified medical expenses, you pay 0 taxes. None. Triple win. After age 65, you can withdraw from your HSA for any reason, not just medical, and pay only regular income tax, basically turning it into a second traditional IRA. Except better, because if you do use it for medical expenses, which, let's be honest, you will, it's completely tax-free. If you max out your HSA every year from age 30 to 65, invest it in low-cost index funds, and never touch it, you could have over $500,000 sitting there specifically for healthcare in retirement, which, by the way, average Americans spend over $300,000 on. You could cover that entire cost tax-free. If you have an HSA-eligible plan, max it out. The 2024 contribution limit is $4,150 for individuals, $8,300 for families. Invest it. Don't let it sit as cash. Most people just let it sit idle. That's a mistake. Your HSA is an investment account, not just a medical spending card. Treat it that way. Step 5. Max your Roth IRA. A Roth IRA is, for most young and mid-career earners, the single greatest wealth-building tool ever created by the U.S. government. You contribute after-tax money. It grows completely tax-free, and when you retire, you pay zero taxes on the withdrawals. Think about that for a second. If you invest $7,000 in a Roth IRA this year, and it grows to $70,000 over 30 years, you pay $0 in taxes on that $63,000 of gains. Nothing. The IRS doesn't get a cut. Think of your investments like a fruit tree. With a traditional account, the government owns a percentage of every piece of fruit that comes off that tree, forever. With a Roth IRA, you paid a small fee when you planted the seed, but everything that grows from that tree is yours, all of it, for life. Here's what should keep you up at night if you haven't started yet. A 25-year-old who invests $7,000 a year in a Roth IRA and earns 8% average returns will have over $2.5 million by age 65, tax-free. A 35-year-old doing the exact same thing? About $1.1 million. Same contributions, 10 years later. $1 million less. Time is the most expensive thing you'll ever waste. In 2024, you can contribute the full $7,000 if you earn under $146,000 as a single filer or $230,000 as a married couple. Above those limits, look into the backdoor Roth strategy. It's legal, it's common, and it works. Open a Roth IRA if you don't have one. Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab, all great options, all free to open. Set up an automatic monthly contribution, invest it in a low-cost total market index fund, and then leave it alone for decades.
Step 6. Max the rest of your 401k. You got the free match in Step 3. Now it's time to go back and fill the rest of your 401k all the way to the annual limit. Why now and not before the Roth? Because most 401ks have limited investment options and potentially mediocre funds with higher fees. The Roth IRA gives you more control, more flexibility, and usually better fund options. So you capture the free match first, then optimize the Roth, then come back to finish the 401k. In 2024, you can contribute up to $23,000 into a 401k. That's $23,000 of pre-tax income being shielded from the IRS right now. If you're in the 22% tax bracket, that's over $5,000 in taxes you're not paying this year. A lot of people get intimidated by maxing out a 401k because $23,000 sounds like a lot. It is a lot, but you don't have to max it in year one. Increase your contribution by 1% every time you get a raise. You'll barely feel the difference in your paycheck, but the compounding impact over 30 years is staggering. Step 7. Open a taxable brokerage account. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You've done something most people never do. And now we get to the fun part. A taxable brokerage account has no contribution limits, no income limits, no restrictions on withdrawals. You put money in, invest it in whatever you want, and let it compound. Why this isn't step 1? Because you'd be paying taxes on your gains every year instead of using the tax-protected accounts first. Tax-advantaged accounts are basically turbochargers. Use the turbo first, then open the highway. What to invest in? Keep it simple. A total stock market index fund, like VTI or FSKAX, gives you exposure to every publicly traded company in the U.S. in one fund for almost zero cost. Add a small international allocation if you want, and then leave it alone. Most people don't realize that the boring approach, buy index funds, stop watching CNBC, let time do the work, has consistently outperformed the vast majority of professional stock pickers over any 20-year period. Boring wins.
Step 8. Extra debt, real estate, and beyond. At this point, you've covered every tax-advantaged account available to you. Now it's time to think about what else to do with extra money. Low-interest debt, like a mortgage at 3%, isn't an emergency to pay off. The math says investing will likely outperform paying that down early. But if you have psychological peace in being debt-free, there's value in that too. Personal finance is personal. Real estate, business investment, helping your kids' 529 accounts, all of these come after the foundational steps, because you can't build a skyscraper on a cracked foundation. Here's something most financial content refuses to say out loud. People get this wrong not because they're dumb, but because the financial industry makes money when you make things complicated. Your credit card company makes billions on your confusion. High-fee mutual funds get paid whether you win or lose. The hot stock tip guy on YouTube gets ad revenue whether his advice works or not. Simple, boring, sequential investing doesn't make anyone else rich. That's exactly why almost nobody talks about it. The people who actually build wealth quietly are the ones who followed the boring order. They maxed the Roth every year, they never touched the 401k, they never tried to time the market, they just kept going. Let's bring it home. Here's your investment order, start to finish. Step 1. Emergency fund, 3 to 6 months, non-negotiable. Step 2. Kill all high-interest debt, no excuses. Step 3. Capture your full 401k employer match, free money first. Step 4. Max your HSA if eligible, triple tax advantage. Step 5. Max your Roth IRA, tax-free wealth forever. Step 6. Finish maxing the 401k, shield as much income as possible. Step 7. Taxable brokerage, no limits, no rules, let it run. Step 8. Everything else, real estate, extra debt payoff, legacy planning. That's it. 8 steps, clear order, no guessing. You don't need to be rich to start. You don't need a financial advisor. You don't need to understand options trading or pick the next big stock. You just need to follow the order. The person who invests $500 a month in the right sequence will absolutely destroy the person investing $1,000 a month in the wrong one. Your future self is watching what you do today. Make them proud. Now, go open that Roth IRA.